There's a part of trading no one talks about. Say I'm tired or hi, welcome to another trade recap, and this trade recap is for the month of January 2025. Just before we start, it's a new year. I'd say happy new year, and I'm sure that this year would be profitable. In this year, I must say there's a part of trading no one talks about, and probably I'll say I'm tired, or would I say I'm not so happy with myself, because this part of trading most people don't talk about it, and I think it has been happening to me quite frequently. Just before we go into the review, I would just want to speak about it, which is parts where you lose trades or you're not on the charts when your trading setup comes and then it plays out in your favor. So this has been a major issue for me in January 2025. I'm just being accountable to you. I think this is one part I must work on to ensure that I'm always on the charts and putting my best to ensure I take the trades that would yield profit. It looks like the ones you miss are the ones that go in your favor. The ones you actively take usually would be a losing trade. So I had some trades who go to the charts quite quickly, but I think it's one part people don't emphasize a lot, especially for some of us who have other things to do and we trade more like an investment or something we are passionate about. So usually probably I get stressed or I have other things that I do spanning through the night, and then I try to trade in the New York session. And I think it's because my trading strategy, because many times the trading strategy works and I don't have opportunities every day. So because we don't have opportunities every day, it's kind of make you laid back. But again, to be accountable, I'm working towards ensuring this would not happen again in the month of February and in the month of March. So without much ado, let's go to the chart and see the opportunities that presented itself in January and how we took a hold of these opportunities. So on the chart, this is today. As I went shooting this video, it's 27th of March, but let's go to 27th of January. But let's go to the very first trade of the month of January. Yeah. So I don't delete most of the markups I have or the trades I took. I just leave it on there. So if you saw let me take this off. If you saw the December recap, you should have seen some of the trades. I still have it here. Again, I missed many trades in December, but this is one. So let's start with January. So on the 1st of January, obviously there was no trade. 2nd of January also there was no trade. The 3rd, there was also no trade. The 4th of January, there was also the 6th, this would be Monday, there was no trade. Then 7th, there was no trade. The 8th, there was no trade. Now I took the 9th, there was also no trade. Now the 10th, this trade was quite painful because it tapped in my zone, but there was no entry. So I thought my entry would always present itself, but there was no entry. Let me make this here. So there was no entry on this particular day. I remember speaking with my trading partner and we were just like, oh no, this will have been a very nice trade. We're waiting for formation of another candle here so we can take a short, or it just means, again, my entry is that I take the sells from the last up candle. So probably I will have taken the sell from here, making this almost 60 pips. I mean, how far would you have gone? So we could not take that trade. Then the next day, so this was the next day, the 13th of January 2025, there was a trade, good setup. It aligned well with my strategy. I took an entry here. I took this entry live, and you can see on Telegram and all of that. I posted live, and the trade hit SL. So this was the first losing trade for the month. So the next day, there was also no trade. On the 14th of January, there was no trade. On the 15th, there was also no trade. I had all these zones marked out, just waiting for the price to go up and tap down. There was no trade again on the 16th of January. Again, all of these zones marked out. This trade for the 17th on Friday, did not tap in during the session I trade, again, my entry would have not been so nice because it's there. So again, there was no trade on this day, but it went down and took us out. So no, took the zone out, not me, because I didn't take the trade. On 20th, there was no trade. So the trade was on the 21st of January, and for some reason on this day, I did not even open the chart that morning. I did not open the chart on this particular day. I just came back to see, I had marked this zone with, again, this zone is quite valid because as at when it was created, you had fair value gaps here. So it's quite like more like what we call a high probability setup for those who believe in that. So you had that fair value gap, although it was mitigated, but it still holds because the zone had not been taken out, and the market came in with this move, tapped in. This was about 14 pips. I could make this a bit tight and leave it at 13 pips, and that would have been a 1 to 5 very awesome setup. But again, I did not take this trade because I was not on the chart. So it's quite painful, really painful, but that's what it is what it is. So that's why I said I want to make a conscious effort not to lose trade. So now from the trades that we've been discussing, once we have this is 5. Don't forget we lost 1 already, so we're looking for 1 to 1 to complete the one we lost, and we're done for the month. And so the next day again, there was this trade. For this one, I was on the chart, but I just felt like I missed the one yesterday, so I didn't bother to take it. But if I were to take this one, this would have been about 10. I wouldn't put 10. I would most likely put 11 pips here, and then we'll target a 1 to 1. 11 pips, 1 to 1, and then we're done. Okay, maybe to cover for spread and other things, maybe just a 1 to 1.7 or 2, and then we're done for the month. So this would have ended the trading month. This is how the trading month should have ended for us. Again, I don't like to stretch strategies, because if you stretch this one, let's say you stretch this to, or let's say we put it precisely at 11 pips and we're targeting 1 to 5. Did it get there? No, it was almost. So you see, almost there. This is, and you might get angry that strategy is not working, except you put it quite so tight, and that would be at 10 pips. Then I think it will have hit. But yeah, if you put it this tight, then it will do 1 to 5. But I don't like to stretch the strategy, so I would have just taken 1 to 2 and leave. But again, you can see that the next day was a losing trade. I didn't take this one. I'm not sure. I'll put up the trades I took in the month of January. I'll put it up somewhere in the screen. But again, this will have been a losing trade. Perfect entry, perfect strategy, fair value gap for the zone I marked out, and it took it out. Perfect. So, but this for those who love to stretch their strategy, just take all the trades. But again, this was another one. So this one was quite instructive because I most likely would have, looking back at this one, let me see this zone that we marked out. Okay, so this is the zone here. This is where the zone starts from. You could argue that, but no, that's not another block. So that's the zone. So this would also have been a losing trade, technically. Oh no, what did I do? Okay, so this will have been a losing trade, and that's why I say I don't like to stretch strategies. So imagine with that zone, I would have taken my entry here. If you watched the last video, you know why. Taking my entry there, and then this will have been a losing trade. So, but once you've gotten what is needed for the month, I believe that you should leave the chart and go and do something else and get, as we say, get a life. So this would have been Friday, just before I'm shooting this video. And so that is it for the month of January. But sincerely, I would have stopped here. I would have taken a 1 to 1 or 1 to about this, just to cover for spread and charges and all of that. This will have been an awesome month, and again would have had our 5 return on investment, or risk to reward. That's the word. I've had it, and because I multiply by 2, that would have been 10% for a funded account. I'm working on, investing in my personal account now, and so probably, but in that account I would not flip. I'll leave the flipping challenge to probably next year, but I would work on, a personal account where I can just risk 5% per trade, which gives more room, more psychological understanding, such that what happened in November and December will not get to me as it did the last time. So, this is how I trade. These are the trades I took, and I believe that from February, I hope to be much more constant. I hope not to miss opportunities. It's quite painful to see you leave money on the desk, and and not make some money. So if you've gotten value, please like, share, subscribe. Please leave a comment. Also, if you notice where I'm rebranding with my other brands and other things I do, so I might again have my last shift of name to the former brand, where it's going to encompass all I do. Again, we'll be having a lot of different sessions as we move further in the year, just to engage and see what real traders are going through. Many times what we have there are influencers, but we want to ensure that this space is for real traders. So to the next video, have a good one. Stay blessed.